Is her behaviour the reason why her popularity is plummeting?
What behaviour? Okay, listen, let me just level set.
Well, there was
here.
the whole car chase thing, the podcast thing.
Let me just level set here, okay, Alex? Okay, let's understand this. Where's the camera? People, listen to me very carefully, because I shall say this only once. Nobody gives a flying flamingo how you feel about Meghan Markle.
Broke into a sweat there.
I'm sorry, but her popularity was never high in the first place. If it's gone down by 2% or another 5%, Meghan doesn't care. Nobody cares, because the foundation upon which this dislike is built on is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, she has been quiet since January 2020, I think since their documentary in November. It is Harry that came out with his book in January. It is Harry that was doing the string of, interviews around the world. It's Harry that's, constantly in the papers now because of the legitimate action it's taking against the papers. She said absolutely nothing, and you still don't like her. The problem here is not Meghan Markle. The problem here is you. So leave the woman or take her name out of your mouths. Thank you. I'm still wasting my time.
Andrew, would you like to address our viewers? Camera 4, there we go.
I suspect this is the real reason the Spotify podcast series has been cancelled by Spotify, because they worked out that in America too, her popularity has plummeted. The Newsweek poll showed the only other royal less popular than Meghan and Harry was Prince Andrew. Blimey, that's quite an achievement. Barely more popular than Prince Andrew, who, remember, has been banned from public life for giving £12 million to a woman he claims he never met.
OK, but
you have no facts or evidence to back up that assertion.
The reason of the unpopularity is, I mean, you mentioned, for instance, the so-called car chase, where they authorised their people to describe it was nearly a catastrophic, and talk about a 2.5-hour high-speed car chase across Manhattan. Have you ever been to Manhattan? You can't do a 2.5-hour high-speed car chase across Manhattan. They made it up and they exaggerated.
No, they did not.
And it was appalling, because they were invoking the memories of what happened to Harry's mother in the Paris underpass, which was a terrible thing when she was being pursued by the paparazzi. It was disgraceful what they did.
All right. But, Andrew, as someone who writes for the Daily Mail...
Yeah. Exactly.
Who are very fond of...
Lying.
I would be very careful.
Truths, fabrications.
Now, hang on.
The writ will be in the post.
They are very fond of Meghan stories. I mean, here's a genuine question. Do people still care? Because we're talking about someone who's nowhere near the throne. They're not part of the royal family. They don't even live in this country.
They are part of the royal family. They're just not...
OK, sorry, apologies, you're correct. They're not a working royal. They're not drawing any money from the public purse. Why are we still talking about Meghan? Well, I realise that this is odd, because I am talking about Meghan, but I'm wondering, why are others talking about
Harry used to be one of the most popular members of the royal family, and people will never forget that enduring image of him, of that little boy following his mother's funeral cortege. It's etched in all our minds and hearts, isn't it? But that couple have spent the last couple of years, for vast amounts of money, slagging off the royal family, and I think it's damaged her popularity enormously. They've slagged off the King, they've slagged off the Camilla Parker Bowles, who's the Queen Consort, Queen Camilla, and William and Kate, and I think people don't like it. They've been doing it for money.
But he hits the nail on the head when he said, about the what's the emotion that Harry evokes, in people because of what happened when he was younger and his mum. But the reality here is, I think that the British people, because we're only talking about some British people, not all British people, these British people that hate Meghan, they're actually quite angry with Harry. But rather than take out their anger on Harry, they're passing it on and projecting it on Meghan. They're blaming her that she's that woman that's caused all this. If she hadn't come into this, none of this would happen, which is utter nonsense. This is the point.
But look at the point of Harry too.
Meghan has done nothing.
OK, Harry's popularity has gone up.
However, it's still in hugely negative territory.
But it's still gone up since January.
He's gone from minus 40% negative to minus 36. Not very good figures.
He still
is almost as popular as Uncle Andrew.
Harry and Meghan do not care. I personally don't care. And I think this conversation about polls is utterly a waste of our time.
Can I say, if they didn't want to be royal, why did they take Prince and Princess titles for their children?
It is his by right, by blood.
Princess Anne's children have no titles. She took that decision. Harry could have done the same. They want the royalty. Meghan wants her kids to be princes. Of course she does.
Let me pause you there. Sandra has called from Kent. Sandra, good afternoon. What do you make of the polling? Is it something that is just inherent? Are people disliking Meghan for whichever reason, but then sort of their opinion of... Is it because they care too much about Harry, as Andrew says?
I think it's I think to start with, Harry was very popular. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Harry was very popular, and when they got married, Meghan, was popular. Everyone was excited for them. But it soon changed when I think she realised, she had quite a lot of work to do being a royal. And I also think she went back to America thinking, oh, look, I've got one of the Prince of England here and thought she'd be Miss Popularity over there. I still think she's an actress. I mean, the car chase in New York. How can you do a car chase in New York?
I've seen it in films.
Yes, quite.
I'm sorry. Sandra had me at, she saw how much work the royals have to do. The royals do what work exactly? Please, Sandra. Why didn't you explain to the rest of the country? What work exactly do they do that is so hard that Meghan Markle will come in and go, oh, my God, this is so much work. You're talking about an independent woman, a woman who rose from, she came from a working class background. She was a millionaire in her own right, an independent woman. And you're saying that she came into the royal family and was like, oh, my God, you're doing so much work. No. Even now, I'm sorry, is it shaking hands? Is it appearing at events?
Okay,
you call that work?
No, I think you're wrong there. I think you're just looking at when you see them on TV. But they do a lot of charity work. They organise a lot of things. They go to many
They have
events.
people who organise that.
But Meghan,
they show up.
Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you.
Okay, Sandra,
But Meghan from the start made problems with the wedding and what Kate's daughter was wearing and what crown she wanted to wear. From the start, she wants everything her own way.
Sandra,
Sandra,
hang on.
But Sandra wasn't there.
Let me just... Sandra, do you worry, perhaps, sometimes, and I'm very conscious that Andrew's here, but do you worry sometimes that these stories are perhaps...
Lies?
No, that's not the word I will use.
It's what I'm using?
That these stories are perhaps exaggerated or, let's use another word, spun, because they sell papers. They make... they're sort of... They create an environment where you can have tension. I mean, do you really care if she asks for a dress to be changed or whatever? I don't even know the stories, but does it matter to you?
Well, yes, because, to me, she caused a lot of problems from the start. And also, they love being in the public eye. I mean, Harry's at court at the moment, or has been at court, because of, they say, phone hacking. They don't like the paparazzi following them. They don't like all that attention. Well, what I would do was not write about them, don't photograph them, and they're soon known then. OK. All right, Sandra, thank you. Let's take another call. Evelyn in London. Good afternoon, Evelyn. What do you make of the story?
Good afternoon, panel. Just to think that it's very unfair what Meghan came through. It's, I think the British public has been very protective of the royal family, and the fact that an American woman has come and married one of their own, and she's not, she's a nobody, so to speak. People didn't take too kindly to that. I didn't like that very much. But I think personally, the fact that Spotify pulled the rug or the contract is the fact that she didn't offer as much as they were expecting. They were expecting the backstory of the royal family, and they didn't get that. They were expecting exactly the same that Netflix had received.
Evelyn, let me ask you.
And also, I wanted to say that the fact that Meghan is not necessarily an attention seeker, like the previous caller said. She is a woman that is basically created her own path since she was 10 years old. She made a lot of changes. She changed the view. She changed the American world on how to view the roles of a man and a woman by writing that letter to that lever company. She's done a lot of stuff. She's a very clever woman, and I don't think they accept the fact that she's so vocal, so outspoken, and she wants to live her life the way she wants to live it.
OK. Thank you for that, Evelyn.